One and
All
two.
right. But we live already. All right, cool. Welcome to it, man. My name is Livos. We're live at Trackside, and it's Trackside Live Thursday Stories. It's good to have this back. It's the first one of 2026. I mean, the first one online that we're doing officially properly. And we've had some really dope guests today. Starting off with an intimate night. It's a night of sin, an intimate night of sin with Mr. Automatic himself. Um, and we had another sounds, man, something I've never heard before. And I'm glad that you got to debut your sound. Well, not really debut it, but to our
Debut for you
listeners,
guys. No
yeah,
way. Thank you
to
for
dope beats, dope production. Firstly, let's do a proper introduction for those who haven't met you or
no
who
way.
don't know who you are.
No way.
Let's do an intro then.
I am Orpheus. I make some music. I gotta play for all of y'all. That was real nice. Yeah, we gotta do some nice stuff today.
Intimate stuff.
Intimate stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were touching on it.
So first, talk about that. Break it down for us.
Industrial.
Talk about that. Break it down for us.
Industrial in terms of the textures, the sounds, the choices of what's going in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lots of 90s stuff, like Nine Inch Nails and all of them. Taking the sounds that are jarring and maybe masculine and
Yeah.
just like throwing them, and also punk energy, finding sort of nah, I'm not happy and I want to do something about
Oh,
it. I want to
yeah.
make something with it. I want to express it in some kind of way, not just in a way that's expected, but a way that is new. So, yeah, fusion.
So it's industrial in terms of the sounds you pick.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, do you have any examples of some bands or maybe other people we
Oh, I
could
was about to make the
recognize?
noises for you. Yeah,
Oh, you
check.
can do that as well, maybe. Yeah.
No, definitely Nine Inch Nails. Like, I think check out the 90s. There's a lot of that idea of, hey, like, mechanical movements, what they call industrialization.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
go like to the car park and you hear all of the sounds. You go to the
Yeah,
factories, you
yeah,
hear
yeah.
all of that. Lots of needlework. Kanye. A
Uh-huh.
lot, Jesus.
Yeah,
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 if
yeah.
you guys can picture that, that's acid rap. If you listen to Hold My Liquor at the end of it, it sounds like 50 sewing machines, like in a line, just going off like.
Sure. So it's got that whole psychedelic element to it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I
you
think you
gotta be on
lose
something.
yourself.
You gotta be on some good high spirits.
No way.
Don't do drugs,
Spirits.
kids.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs, kids. If you find any, give them to me. Yeah.
No way.
So man, just we got some 21 questions to hit you with.
Yes.
Nothing serious though. Let's just have a chat. I mean, so first and foremost, let's talk about industrial culture and the sound itself. Industrial music often mirrors the rhythms and anxieties of modern systems. Factories, networks, and surveillance, so to say. So, how do you translate those themes into your songwriting and sound design?
I think definitely like the masculine energy, like
Yeah.
a great, like when you hear those sounds and you compare them to something like a guitar or piano, they're
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
aggressive and they're coming with a sort of like, I'm angry, I'm here, which, is maybe the sort of masculine I'm working with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not the type of guy who would, yeah, because you're fighting yourself.
Straight up.
Right.
Let's talk about punk versus technology. So industrial punk sits between DIY punk and some rebellion, or as the natural evolution of punk in a digital world.
I would say natural evolution, but I would also say if you consider then like you can play piano punk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think it's just me taking those sounds and maybe trying to humanize them more in a way.
You work on a song. What are some of these things that influence your writing process or your creating process?
The machines itself. Yeah, yeah. So my Jaws, my Ableton is really nice plugins, man. And I think also like shame. I love live music.
Yeah.
And playing live is a completely different feeling from being in the production space. But people don't normally use production space as that to say, okay, so it's not that I want the sound to sound good and to fit in, it's that I want the sound to be a subjective viewpoint. So what does that subjective viewpoint sound like? What's the texture of that sound? Weirdly, like, it's always been one of those things just on the edge, you know? Like, I started learning violin when I was little, and then doing, like, you know, the live, like at the end of the semester, okay. Jamming out high school, having songwriting competitions with my friends, where both of us, like, we were jealous types of people. So, like, okay, nah, you should try and rework this lyric, that type of stuff. There was a friend of mine who was a drummer, and this guy could drum. And I remember just like watching him and just being in it. And then, okay, oh, here's a guitar. Okay, just following each other. You're actually talking to the person who's playing drums. You're talking to the person who's playing piano. Yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah. That's dope, man. Let's talk about myth, identity, and the name Orpheus.
Yes.
Your name evokes aesthetic resonance to you.
I'd say symbolism. So Orpheus loses his woman down in hell, right? And to lead her out, he plays his music, you know, to like lead her down the way, you know. And I think it's that idea of I'm going to create something that is so much me. And
You are deep. You are very deep. You just short of a rap career.
hey,
With that name, you should start rapping, don't you think?
Hey.
I mean, you're already doing it on the rapping, might as well. And in addition to the singing. Let's talk a bit about subculture and survival. Industrial and post-punk scenes have gone through waves of underground revival. What keeps this culture?
there's always going to be that new generation. There's Oh, you know Fight Club. So
Fight Club, yeah.
So they're asking Edward Norton, they're like, 20, then they show up. I'm 60 now. I've experienced it 3 times. So I think it's kind of like that. Like the generation comes up and they have that feeling of like, nah, what my parents are telling me doesn't make sense. I don't youthful rebelliousness. And
Sure.
Yeah, that's always gonna waves. Yeah.
Oh, wow, man. Almost at the end of our 21 questions. Or some people who have inspired the music that you make today?
Some people who inspire me, Kanye, honestly. Things and thinking about like, okay, this is a piece of something. I'm a craftsman, you know, like the same way that you'll get a guy who's like a shoemaker and he's saying, I'm not gonna make just a shoe. I don't care if like, you know, nobody's gonna wear it. This is something that needs to be beautiful because that is my craft.
Yeah.
Police, Eminem's fucking cool. Yeah, man.
This is why I say you're short of a rap
Hey.
career, man. Yeah, man. And making, where do you see this music taking you? Also, your influence, how far do you see yourself influencing this industry of ours in South Africa, since we're not as we're not as accustomed to the sound, obviously. So how do you see yourself influencing and aspiring, let's say, future musicians? Yeah.
I'd say just a different perspective, man. Yeah. Honestly, I'm here. And the only thing that I can offer is my perspective. I think people don't have to make what I'm making. They can just be offered that idea of like, hey, like, look at things differently. And what can I offer that is just me? 1000%.
How do you even begin to influence that, someone to think differently? I mean, in a personal capacity, yes, you could be able to just do it, How do you find yourself inspiring the next person to do that?
Sure. I think influence and inspiration, if it's an active thing, then it's kind of a lie, Honestly, like, why I also like jamming with people, so far under using your words, talking to somebody and you're saying like, hey man, like, I'm communicating with my heart to you.
Sure.
I'm playing and when they play back, forget. That's 10 years down the line. They look at their lives. They're like, oh, shit. I remember that. Am I still in line with that?
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, influence and inspiration. I always say it's like if you just show up for a person, if you're there with all of yourself, that's something that sticks. You know, leadership, influence, inspiration. It's when you're actually there trying to get them to be better,
Yeah.
not trying to get the best out of them for yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get to talk about your performance earlier on. You were performing some music from an EP. Is it upcoming or is it
Yeah.
already out?
That is upcoming. So I I was doing some traveling and I was living alone for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was living alone in this little studio, which was it had a haunted bathroom, bro.
Oh,
It
for
was
real?
crazy. It was crazy. Like I was taking a shower and I felt somebody else scrubbing me. I was
Oh,
like, no,
wow.
no. But all of that.
So you stuck around for the inspiration.
Yeah, and the scrubbing.
ghost of-
Honestly, they got the spots, dude.
Eish.
Yo, places in your back that I've never seen. God
Yeah.
damn. Thank you, Ghost in Georgia. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. It was that. I think it was also. It was becoming, you know.
Yeah.
Now I'm 27, so that's really the point in my life that I'm like, okay, you know what? Where do I stand apart?
Yeah.
And that's what that album is.
Mhm.
Yeah, or EP. It's gonna be called How.
All right.
Yeah.
When are you planning?
Probably next month, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in mixing, mastering, and then.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, let's talk about the future of industrial punk.
Mm.
From early tape action. Industrial music has always evolved the technology, right? So, what do you think is the next radical shift in the genre? What do you think it will look like or sound like?
So I can say two things. I can say if you look at improv music, noise music especially, because it's generally people coming with their equipment, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
you said, of that, and they're literally asking themselves like, what can this do? With 50 people watching me, what can this thing do? You know.
yeah.
So I think that's one thing. Because also it's personal in a way that is genuinely frightening. That's not even music, you know. It's
Yeah.
literally somebody standing there like, "Bah," and they're like, yeah, no, okay, I'll keep going. I can also say like
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with all of these trends and all of that. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's the person who comes and they look at it and they say, okay, what can I do with this?
Sure.
You know. So I don't know the future because I don't know the guy.
It could sound like AI for all you know.
No way, it could,
yeah.
genuinely.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Just so that we wrap it up, I think we're running out of battery life. Where can people catch you on the socials? Where can we catch your next releases and your gigs, upcoming gigs also?
So just find me, search on Instagram at SahenR4, SAHENR4. You'll find a little link over there for Lalo. All of my films, all of my everything. I'm playing some nights, noise nights, once a month or so. Yeah.
Noise Nights. Where's
Yeah.
this?
Melville,
In
Smoking
Melville.
Kills.
Okay. So we catch it on the socials, on your social pages. That's where we'll catch it. All right, cool, man. Orpheus, thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for the amazing music.
Thank you for
the
having me,
blessing, man.
man.
Thank you so much to Trackside Creative, as always. Hit us up, of course, on the socials. You can book the space if you want to come create or record your content, right? Of course, industrial, wow, rehearsal space, as well as a recording studio, a professional recording studio, mind you. So pull through. My name is Livos. It's been another Trackside Thursday.